Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Talking Movies. My name's Josh.
I'm Clay.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Randall.
And today, this is Randy's pick this week. This is George A. Romero's Bruiser from the year 2000. What is this movie?
A lot of things make more sense now.
The year 2000?
Yeah, I didn't know what year this came out. That explains a lot.
Oh, it is. It is the year 2000.
Yes.
If you look up year 2000 in the Webster's dictionary, it just gives you a poster of this movie.
I mean, yeah. So, okay, it was written and directed by George A. Romero, but it's got Jason Fleming in it, who is somebody that I know from Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's got a couple other people in it. Most notably, Tom Atkins is a guy I really like. And then, what's that guy's name? Is that Peter Stormare? Yeah, Peter Stormare.
Yeah.
He's in the movie.
He's on 1,000,000 pounds of cocaine.
So he's the reason that I wanted to. Well, there's two reasons I wanted to watch this. It'll tie into punk rock at some point because that's just what my brain does. But he's the main reason that I wanted to watch this. I was like, oh, George A. Romero. Oh, cool. Oh, Stormare's in it. Oh, cool. Then Tom Atkins is in it. So I didn't even know the main guy was in it. I had no idea.
Stormare's also in Bad Milo. So. Like,
well, yeah, but I would but if I had never seen Bad Milo and I saw he was in it, I might be apt to go try it out based on him being in it. Is my point. I like him.
Yeah, I do too. But
Bad Milo.
He will be in any movie if you pay him.
That's also why I like him, because he will make any movie a little more entertaining.
Yeah.
But talking about Tom Atkins?
No.
Peter Stormare.
Peter Stormare, the guy that was the devil in. He was the devil in Constantine. That's how I first came across the guy.
That guy, the guy who played Miles. Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, so he really was on a bunch of stuff when this movie was being made. A bunch of his lines were all like what's they call it, ad-libbed, and so yeah. So this movie's about a guy who runs a magazine, a dude that works for the magazine, and they're basically trying to. The boss is banging out this dude's gal, and I don't really know what the movie's about other than it's like this love quadrilogy situation going on. And one of the dudes puts on a mask and it gets stuck to him. It's like the movie The Mask meets I don't know, fucking Halloween or something. I don't know, man. It's the strangest movie, but it lived up to everything I hoped it was going to be. And I literally paused it like 3 times and I was like, I'm going to be the only one that likes this. And then I kept laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. And every line was dialed up to like 12 or so. They were like, he's like, man, I have a headache. And you're like, yeah, that's cool, man. Like, you can just tell me you've got a headache. You need some Advil? Here you go. But it was just, I don't know. This movie is so crazy. When I found out it was directed by Romero, I'd seen the trailer before, maybe once. I think it came in like a 4-pack at one point that I had. I just never watched it. And the cover looks ridiculous. But, there's a few reasons why I was interested in watching it. And at one point, they're at this, I don't know if it's like a club or what it is, but it's like almost like a party where the Misfits are playing on stage. And that's how I was like, okay, I'm going to have to watch this now because the Misfits are. And then I figured out why they were in the movie. And it made me appreciate it a little bit more. So, basically, George A. Romero directed a video for them, and as payment, they jumped in the movie for him. And I think they couldn't afford to pay for it, and he was like, "Hey, I'll do this if you'll do me a solid." And it really makes the movie a little more silly and fun having those dudes in it, because at this point they're like peak cartoon Misfits. At this point, they're like post Danzig. Michael Graves is the singer at this point, and it's Famous Monsters, American Psycho era Misfits. My personal favorite era because I like his vocals far better, and the production's just a lot better, but it's not as iconic as the Danzig stuff, obviously. But that was my final. Okay, I gotta watch this. Honestly, I thought it was going to be quality better than this. I thought it was going to be objectively better, and do 20 minutes in, I was like, oh boy, I might have messed up this time. But I had a blast. It's so silly, dude. The dialogue is ridiculous. The concept is kind of weird. Everything that happens in it's insane. Nothing is normal. This whole movie is crazy.
Yeah, I think the script was 3 pages long, and everybody just did a bunch of cocaine and press record, and stuff happens.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Shoot freaking lasers at the Misfit show, and
Bro, I genuinely don't really understand the plot of this movie at all. Like, I don't. All I know is that somebody gets their feelings hurt real bad, and then he goes all emo and starts killing people, and then these cops just basically Scooby-Doo this fool, and they just chase after him as he's like running away, and then bro,
yeah,
it's a masked killer movie that I think honestly should be talked about a little bit more because of how just absurd it is. But it's not objectively well made, in my opinion. Obviously, well, not even my opinion. It's just not objectively well made. But like, it's a terrible movie that I really enjoyed. Like,
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, Randy definitely gonna love this one. It just recently got a 4K from somebody.
Indicator or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think I have to buy that.
Yeah, like I don't think I realized it was Romero, and I remember seeing that release, and then realized it was Romero, and yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty terrible movie, Randy. I had a hard time with it.
I knew you would, but I was hoping that Clay or Chris might enjoy it a little bit. I had a blast watching this movie. Even Chris liked it.
Yeah, there was, a little bit of fun to be had just with how terrible it was, but
no, I mean that's the reason to watch this movie is because it's so silly. I am 100% going to own a copy of this. I loved it. It was so. I mean, look, I have no qualms with the fact that it was a terrible movie. Like, you hate it all you want. I get it. I'm not even saying that you're wrong. I just really liked it, and I did feel a little bit bad though. I was like, damn, I made these dudes watch this shit. Like, in all fairness, I hadn't seen it before, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't turn off very many movies, and if we weren't watching this for the podcast, I probably would have turned it off.
What? That bad? No, bro.
Wow.
I honestly considered turning it off and just reading the Wikipedia synopsis.
Oh man, all the shit that we've had to watch over the years, and y'all are talking about this one. This is, I don't know. I don't think this.
It's not Bad Milo bad, but it's
not
that far.
That movie.
There was a reason that
atrocious.
There is a reason that I invoked that name earlier.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. Like I say, I wasn't expecting like any sort of masterpiece or anything like that, but I did go in blind. Just went, let's go for it.
I was expecting it to be a little bit better, if I'm honest, but
yeah, I was hoping for at least a little bit better, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is not gonna be good. So
there's just so much funny stuff in this movie. Like, it's not a movie that I could take seriously at all. It's simply one that, like, if I smoked, bro, I would watch this shit all the time. This is definitely a movie you watch high because it's so silly. But like, I mean, Stormare pulls his dick out at one point, and he's just like, apparently that wasn't scripted, and he just did it. And they were like, "Yo," and he was like, I'm sorry."
Did you watch the same like Joe Blow video about this that I did? Because that was the only thing I could find about the. Like, I was trying to look up information about this movie.
Then it had to be that then.
There was like one video on YouTube that got into it a little bit, and awesome. Even the Wikipedia was like bare bones. There was nothing I could.
So I don't remember what I watched because I wasn't necessarily watching it. I think it came on. So if it was probably the Joe Blow thing because I'm subscribed to that channel. But I was at work and it came on and I was just listening to it and I was like, oh, Romero, that's cool. Misfits are in it, and that's why I went and looked it up.
Right.
I didn't really
talk
listen
about
to
all that stuff. And...
Okay, I didn't listen like intently. I just heard it, Romero and Misfits, and was like, all right, I'll check this out.
Yeah, because I'd forgotten you said that the Misfits were involved in this. So when they popped on, I mean, it was at the very end. So like when the movie was over, okay, why the hell were the Misfits in this at all? So yeah, I did do a little digging myself just to see why. I mean, that was cool.
I mean, there was a ton of.
I was gonna say that like that last like 20 minutes was just so strange. Like
there was a lot of weird shit happening.
Yes.
Did you find any like reason why the no? So they were paying George Romero back.
Yeah. That's why they were in it. I knew that because I just didn't know what movie it was. I knew they were in a Romero movie. I just didn't know it was this movie because that's something I knew a long time ago. I
was pretty impressed when the Misfits came out. I was like, damn, George Romero's pretty cool. Like for the year 2000 or whatever, he was pretty plugged in. And I was really surprised that would be, a genre of music that he chose to include in his movie because he was an old guy.
Right.
Man, I really like this movie a lot.
Let's go.
Really silly saying that.
No, bro, don't. Oh, dude, you're on team awesome.
I was an hour into it and I stopped. My kid was like, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, "Man, it's this George Romero movie." And he was like, "Do you like this?" And I was like, "Man, I really do."
Dude,
there
all
were
the
so
stuff.
many, dude. There were so many continuity issues though. Like the editing
Yes,
was so
yes,
bad.
yes.
I would pause it and I'd be like, "Did I miss something?" And I'd go back, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, and I'd be like, "No, I didn't miss anything." Like that's just the way it is. Dude, it was weird.
I actually was on that same path with this movie. I was confused a number of times, thought I'd missed something, rewound it wasn't. And I watched it the second time today, most of it. And I was like, no, this movie is, and I don't know if I thought edited poorly. I thought maybe like just written really bad. But yeah, the editing is probably what the real issue was. But I just thought, I mean, all the stuff that Chris likes, I was hoping that maybe he would like it because it's just so absolutely ridiculous. But I was positive Josh was going to be like, "What the fuck?" Like I told Chris, I was like, "Oh, I feel kind of bad for asking Josh to watch this," but
it's all good.
At least it wasn't 2.5 hours.
There's plenty we watch a lot of stuff that you don't like, and you make it through it, so it's all good.
This is a good point.
I can suffer through it every once in a while. It's all right.
I do try to pick gooder. Really, I try to pick gooder movies, but I do try to pick movies that we're all like. I just
when you said last week that it was late Romero and you hadn't seen it, I was like, okay.
I did know I was taking a chance with that.
I mean, let's be honest. Romero hasn't made that many good movies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I disagree, but it's all.
I mean, I've probably seen half of them, but he's got some classics.
Zombie, though.
Yeah, no, he's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything that he's got his name on has got zombies in it, I'm down to watch it, and I'll probably like it. Now, after that, it's like kind of a coin toss, but yeah. I mean, he's got plenty of stinkers, I guess. I just thought this one was so. It was it was like a hard case crime book mixed with fucking like The Mask and Halloween. That's what it was. It was Michael Myers, Jim Carrey's The Mask, and hard case crime kind of mixed together. It was just so noir with lights bright. It was just like it was trying to be some shit that it wasn't, I think. Because the Tom Atkins thing.
American Psycho and The Mask. Sorry to cut you off there.
Oh no, that's a good okay. Yeah.
It came out the same year as American Psycho, and I was like, what? How the hell? Like it felt so American Psycho to me that I was like, I need to watch that movie again because it's very like stuffy corporate, obnoxious corporate personalities, the obnoxious bosses and shit.
Right.
And I was like, man, how did these movies come out the same year? Like, how did that happen?
Dude, this one's an automatic buy for me. I'm gonna purchase it as soon as I get a couple bucks in my pocket. I didn't know there's a 4K. I'm glad I haven't bought it yet because I'm gonna get a 4K of it.
Yeah, there's like a full limited edition box set.
There's like
you can go all out for it.
I got Killing Zoe, and I got Switchblade Sisters, and then I bought 16 Years of Alcohol. So I need to go ahead and grab this one because I've been buying movies lately for my collection. Like my personal collection is starting to grow again. This one, it was just so silly, bro. Like I'm not at all surprised that Josh didn't like it. I'm not even bummed out by that. I'm almost more bummed that I made you watch it. But like, it was so. I really felt like the same kind of fun that I had watching The Fanatic was how I felt watching this because it was just like so bad, and I was like, but it's so much fun. Like it's just so dumb. Actually, The Fanatic's probably better than this, but like, not by a lot.
There are some bad movies that came out in like early 2000s. I don't really know what happened then, but it was like just dog shit movies. I keep thinking House on Haunted Hill with Famke Janssen. And
I love that movie.
Like, that one has the same kind of weird. Yeah, 13 Ghosts. Like, that's
so good, bro.
One.
I remember that one.
13 Ghosts is awesome. I got a Scream Factory special edition of that one.
Yeah,
with Matthew Lillard.
I imagine I don't like it as much as I used to, but I mean, when I saw that in the theater, and it was awesome. But
it's still fun if you have
14.
it up loud with the lights down low. If it's like in a family setting, it's kind of terrible. But if you watch it by yourself with it like real loud and bright on a big screen, it's fun. Yeah, it's not a good movie, but
I got a little nostalgia with that one, so I would probably still forgive some of its terribleness.
There's some Drew Barrymore was like coming to her little B movie heyday in the early 2000s, so you can catch like Poison Ivy or You know, that's some weird like Drew Barrymore. I just kept thinking about her when I was watching this. I was like, oh, this is like
you know why she was in Poison Ivy?
No,
she was in Poison Ivy because she got kicked out of Hollywood because she was a troublemaking drug addict for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And she got kicked out of Hollywood. She came back. The only movie she could get was Poison Ivy, and it was because one of her friends got the. Yeah, one of her friends got the movie for her. She was in that and started like rebuilding her like portfolio and her reputation again. But I just watched a whole long thing on Drew Barrymore. I didn't realize she had so many problems growing up. She was real lucky. She's even around, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, she's had it rough.
I didn't realize that until like a couple weeks ago. And I've always kind of liked her because she's kind of quirky and cute, you know, with the little smirk and shit. I mean, as she's gotten older, I kind of can't stand her, but you know, whatever. You know,
now she's like a daytime talk show host or something.
Yeah, it's
super weird,
super lame, dude. Like real lame, very uncomfortable. But
what kind of world are we living in?
This movie was fun. I liked when was there any parts at all that y'all enjoyed, Josh, Chris, either of y'all? I can usually find something I like about it.
I don't know. There's some random violence that was kind of funny.
Right. Like, when he threw his wife out the window of that building, I was like, oh my God, he actually did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just went straight for it. Like the dog thing when like we killed the maid or whatever, and like he like the dog came in and the dog was
dancing in the blood. That was awesome.
I mean, I'm glad I stuck it out and saw the end. Like the end was so ridiculous.
Oh, I loved it.
That I'm glad I stuck it out just for that.
I really appreciated, this is the weirdest thing, but I really genuinely liked the mask that they put on that guy because it was like form fitting. Like I don't know what it was. It looked like marshmallow
makeup.
But, is that all it was? Was just thick ass makeup?
Yeah, I mean it's hours of makeup cool. Probably.
I thought it was awesome looking because it moved with his face really well, and they could have easily been real lazy with that and not done that. And I thought it made it very entertaining, you know, but very, very silly. But when old buddy came on the screen, I was like, oh, it's the dude from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I had no idea it was in this. It was kind of funny. But yeah, it's a pretty bad movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I think that movies like this kind of elevate middle of the road movies a little bit because then you're like, man, that movie's all right. And you think about like, well, yeah, well, what about these movies though? And you're like, oh shit, never mind, this movie's all right. And you watch stuff that's like could obviously be worse. I don't know. I have this weird way of looking at stuff like that, but
yeah, the bottom's lower than you thought it was. Yeah.
And I love swimming around in that muck, dude. I dive in that shit, dude.
The gutter.
I love it, man. It's so fun. But yeah, there was a lot of fun kills in it. A lot of really hammy dialogue that I thoroughly enjoyed. Tom Atkins was like, it felt like he was just being like, "Can I please go home? Can I leave,
like
please?"
I feel like he knew what movie he was in.
Right.
And no one else really did. Like Peter Stormare, like would have known, except he was on too much coke. But you know.
Bro, that guy was out of his fucking mind in that movie.
He really was.
Yeah, I'll just say that here's what I like too, because it just like he made no sense. Like none of his dialogue made any sense.
He was wired from
rambling.
The jump.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man.
Well, when he's like arguing with the cops because he's like, my wife wouldn't do that, but like 2 minutes before that, he was calling her like this evil bitch and he hated her. It was so strange. And then
she still lives with him, and
bro.
Nothing.
Dude, she catches him banging that girl and takes a picture, and he's like, "You can't do that. That's a private moment." I was like, "What are you talking about?" This shit was so good, bro. Oh man, I really had a fun time watching this, dude. I'm gonna watch it again tomorrow, probably.
I was pretty surprised with Jason Fleming's like. I thought he was a pretty good actor in this movie. Like, as absurd as it was, he was pretty serious about the whole thing. I thought he did a great job, man. Really.
I liked it, so I'm not arguing.
It seems like he was trying. Like there was some sort of message to what he was going through in the movie, it's completely lost. But you know, he was definitely trying for it. You know.
Well, yeah, I don't think it was necessarily like the talent of the actors was the problem of the movie.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, not that they were like A-list freaking actors, but I mean, yeah, I don't think the acting was like particularly bad. It just,
Well,
Some of
I
it
mean,
is.
yeah,
mean,
Tom
yeah.
Atkins was pretty bad.
Yeah, but I mean, but he's a decent actor, and Peter Stormare is a decent actor, and
Yeah.
I mean, the other dude's decent too. So I mean, it's not like it's like
Yeah.
terrible actors, but just
No, the women were by far the worst part of the
Yes.
acting in this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the homeboy's wife.
yeah. I was just said the girlfriend or wife or whatever she was. Yeah, she was pretty awful.
She was
The-
definitely
the-
just a model.
Yeah,
that
the
they
long-haired
hired.
one, the long-haired
Yeah.
girl.
She was
Yeah,
fine,
she
though.
was.
Yeah.
I thought the short-haired lady was prettier, and I recognize her for something. I can't tell what it is, but I thought I recognized her for something, but maybe I don't.
Mm.
I didn't
But,
really understand where they were going with like she was wearing the mask in the club and he's like, "No, I did it," and she's like, "No, I did it," and he's. I mean, I'm like, why would you sacrifice yourself for I don't know.
Exactly.
Made sense.
Why? Why would any of this happen? It
I
would.
would be like, "Hey, she did it." Like, I don't
Right? Yeah,
know.
I'm like, oh, dude, thanks. Yeah, it was her. Fucking.
Yeah, the whole ending made like 0 sense.
And then
Because, I
he's just the mailman at the end.
Yeah.
What?
With the
He got
long
like
hair.
long hair. You're like, oh, he's a hippie now. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, this is my favorite movie of the year, bro. This is
And
my
when he
favorite
turns,
one.
he doesn't have a mask on, but when he turns around after the boss yells at him, he has a mask on. All of a
So,
sudden.
am I mistaken, or was he the only one that could see the mask?
I
I don't think anybody else ever registered that he had the mask on except that one woman.
I was wondering that, but I thought that they did see them. I don't remember. I like.
Yeah,
See,
we gotta watch it
there was
again,
a
Josh.
certain point where I stopped being able to pay attention to this
Well, they had-
movie.
Is that about 5 minutes in?
It was.
They had security camera
about halfway.
footage.
Of the mask. That's
Yeah, they
right.
had footage of him in the mask.
Yeah, they talk
it's
about
like-
the mask.
It was in the
Okay.
freaking newspaper. So like the dude in the mask showing up at this party.
Okay, I misunderstood
Nope.
that then.
Nobody went, it's the dude in the mask.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was originally wondering if this was like his internal thing.
That's
like
what
he
I thought was
like-
going on the whole time.
He was like,
it is somehow like the mask comes on when he doesn't stand up for himself or something.
or
Right.
when-
Yeah, because at the end he's like, I stood up for myself and it's gone. You're like, I guess.
Yeah, that thought crossed my mind, but I don't think it was trying to be that clever.
It's like he's trying to turn off himself and like become this other person or something. Like I don't know. I don't
Dude,
know.
accidental awesome. I love it.
Great choice, Randy.
No problem, buddy. I got you, dude. I
I'm
thought
gonna
it was
buy
great, man.
too. I
Dude,
was gonna buy it.
I was
like,
just watching it. I was like, I don't know what to say about this. Like, I don't know. Like, what are we talking about?
I honestly don't have a lot to say about it either. I just liked it a lot. I thought it was fun as fuck. I'm gonna enjoy watching this shit all the time. I really do like movies like this and Fanatic. This is like the stuff
Yeah.
I've just over the last couple of years I've really found my niche of stuff that I enjoy. I typically don't try to bring it to the podcast if I can avoid it, but this one was cool to find and just accidentally stumble into something I thoroughly enjoy. And plus, it's got the Misfits in it, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm glad Clay liked it too, at least.
Me
I'm
too.
glad- I'm glad somebody else liked it for
Yeah,
sure.
like I said,
I mean-
I thought about turning it off, but I am glad I stuck through it. I won't say I liked it.
I won't.
but
I wouldn't
I
be
didn't-
able to say that.
I didn't hate
unfortunately.
it.
Anytime you can get me going, like when I'm watching a movie, full attention, and all of a sudden I'm like, now what's going on? What happened? And I have to rewind it. Like that's the mark of a good movie right there.
Is it? Keeps your attention.
I'm
Keeps you
on
guessing.
Hugh's team with this one.
Oh
Yeah, it was
man.
fun.
So Romero, like, why? Like, what? I'm.
Are you asking me? Don't ask me. I don't have a clue.
So I'm just looking at his filmography and like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand his whole career really. Like, you just look at his movie. Like, obviously, Night of the Living Dead, a classic. But
Yeah, the movie
then-
doesn't hold up though.
Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. No,
No,
Night-
I'm
Night-
talking
Night
about
of
the
Living
original.
Dead is so boring.
Night
Dude.
of the
I can't
Living
watch
Dead.
that movie.
But then he does like the Crazies and stuff like that.
That's a good movie.
Crazies is pretty good. I've seen that one.
Yeah, I remember liking that. It's been a long time.
I mean, he is a
The remake's
DIY,
better,
like low budget guy. He does things with, duct tape and bubble gum. He scrapes
Mhm.
things together. Like we did Martin on the podcast. I think that was before
I like that one too.
Clay joined us, but that is a very, very low budget movie, but it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, Martin's pretty good.
And it has like some ideas, and I feel
we don't want ideas though. Like I would like to stay away from ideas. I need my shit to be
sorry.
retarded.
But I'm looking at his movies, and like really, I think the zombies are really the only reason he ever had a career.
That's
right?
that's his jam, bro. He fell into that, realized very quick that he was able to do that very well.
But I don't even think that he wanted to. Like he may not.
No, he wanted to do westerns.
He wanted to make other stuff, and then he had to keep going back to the zombie pool because that was the only thing that he could get done.
I mean,
like there's three different times where his heyday was Dawn of the Dead, and then Night Riders and Creep Show, Day of the Dead. Yeah. But then he does like Monkey Shines.
Love it.
And Two Evil Eyes. That he did that with Dario Argento. And
shit out 3 more of the Dead movies after
yeah,
Bruiser.
so that's what I was getting to. Like he did this one movie called The Dark Half, is actually a Stephen King story, and then he didn't do anything else for 7 years, and then he does Bruiser, and then the next 3 movies he do are these like low budget zombie movies: Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, and those are his last 3 movies.
I like those movies. Have you watched any of those?
I haven't watched any of the later ones. No.
If you like his earlier zombie stuff, they're not as influential because they're later on, but they're just as fun to watch.
Isn't at least one of them? Isn't it like a found footage or something?
I can't remember.
I feel like I've heard that before, but I've never watched.
I don't remember. I haven't seen them in a quite some time. I might have a different opinion if I rewatch them, but I remember enjoying them quite a bit.
I remember watching Land of the Dead a while back.
That one I know is good. Day of the Dead's Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead,
and then Survival of the Dead.
I'll be honest, I may not have seen Survival. I know I've seen Diary, and I know I've seen Land.
Yeah, I've seen Land of the Dead. I think I remember it being pretty good, but
really?
Land of the Dead's solid.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, when you find something you're good at, you just need to stick to it. I mean, it's like, do you want to be making zombie movies, or you want to be working at a fucking construction yard? Well, take the zombie movies and make them.
No, for sure. He's just. I've never been able to figure his thing out. Like he has such a strange career. He seems like a really cool, like nice guy too, but he just kind of got stuck doing the zombie thing.
Everything that I've ever heard about the guy was like all the people on set liked being around him because he was just like kind of a nice dude. Like he wasn't, super, fist on the table type of get to work type of dude.
Yeah, he seemed like he was. I've listened to some interviews and stuff with him. He seems like really like easygoing and like just like a nice guy. But
have you ever listened to anything about the making of Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah, I have.
It was pretty horrible working conditions and.
Oh, Dawn of the yeah. Those are all like I was saying, low budget. All his stuff pretty much was that way, except for maybe like Creep Show. That's probably the most money he ever had.
That was still fairly low budget.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Or maybe Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead, he had quite a bit of money. That's when the effects were probably the best, right?
Yeah, because that was severe.
Yeah. Day of the Dead's probably the best effects that he's got. That's probably the best movie he did, actually.
Yeah, I would say so.
Creep Show. Yeah, he's a director. I mean, that was Stephen King. Stephen King was in Creep Show. So
yeah. Well, they collaborated for that.
Right. Creep Show is awesome.
I think Stephen King wrote all of the short stories for it, and they they wrote them together, and they made all that together. Yeah, I don't know. Weird guy. Yeah, that was the only thing I could really think of to talk about. I don't really know what to say about this movie, but we could talk about George Romero for a minute. He's got a weird ass
right. Well, that's what this movie is basically for. Is like a a jump off point to talk about Romero and just like some of the people in the movie. It's you either like bad movies or you don't. And if you don't like them, this really isn't going to be fun to watch. So
Yeah.
I understand that, but I really thought it was going to be a little higher quality than it turned out to be. I was like, oh man, swing and a miss again, man. Whew.
Yeah.
But I really did enjoy it. I was laughing the whole time. There's the dialogue so ridiculous. Like the delivery. It's not even the dialogue. It's the delivery of the dialogue is so absurd. Everything is a fucking cartoon, and I don't mean like a cool cartoon, like fucking something from 1960 or something, some Johnny Bravo or some shit. Like, dude, it's just like over the top, hammy.
Yeah.
You know,
and Romero, I think, wrote this too, so can't really blame anyone but himself.
That's even better, actually.
Well, that Joe Blow video, they're talking about this movie pretty lovingly, and
yeah, I liked it. So
they said, well, they were saying that Romero also considered it one of his better later movies. Like he got the least amount of interference making it. He kind of pretty much made what he wanted.
That's awesome.
They left him alone. So it's like,
and then later they use this as an example of why they weren't going to give him money to make movies. They're like, see, look what happens when we give you some kind of fucking leash to go make what you want, George.
And this was also straight to DVD. This never came out theatrically or anything.
I'm fucking flabbergasted. This didn't make a bunch of money at the movie theaters.
Shocking.
I noticed that the audience is pretty split on it. Like if you read reviews, there are people who are like, "Yeah, I loved it," and other people are like, "This is terrible." And
it seems like a polarizing flick.
Yeah, I can see that.
That shit was good. I'm sorry that Josh had to sit through it. Otherwise, well, you and Chris. But Clay, I'm super glad you watched it.
All good.
I loved it. I feel weird saying that. Like I'm having a hard time. Like, did I miss something? But no, I mean, it was good. I liked it.
Shit, yeah.